G'day folks, and welcome to the new and improved breakdown for 2019, brought to you by New Step Brewing, where we're here filming today. My name's Brendan Sauce Hertel, and joining me is commentary regular Jay Staunton and Sunnybank winger Peter Lee. Now fellas, obviously round 3 delivered us some big score lines, and then we now finally have a club outright on top of the ladder. Let's dive into it with the match of the round between North and Sunnybank. Pete, you obviously featured for that one. You guys got the win at the end of the day. What did the Dragons take out of that clash?
Definitely just the W. It's good to get a win, especially after on the trot of all the back-to-back losses for us. So to get a win with the boys was really special for us. It shows that we're still in the game. It shows we're threatening the competition.
I suppose what we saw on the weekend, obviously Isaac Lucas came back on start for you guys. Fraser McBride played for Brothers. A few of the Reds boys from that bench on Friday night playing club rugby. How good is that to see?
It's awesome. I mean, what it really does is it just shows that there is that direct pathway from Queensland Premier Rugby up to the higher grades. So to be able to have them come down and it showed through the standard of footy, I think it's just massive for the game.
Now, obviously, North went down on this one. It was a scrappy match. But what did you think were some of these positives for North's man?
Look, I think it is going to be a pretty long year for Norths, but they have got a few guys out. Nick Chapman's still to come back. But, Matty McGahn showed he showed about 40 minutes of really good footy. Connor Chittenden was back. Phil McComber probably had his best game of Premier Grade footy. So they have got some talent in that squad, but I think they've just got to really work their way into it. And I think once they do get a win, it could be something that really kickstarts their season a bit further.
I think one thing I picked up sitting behind the dead ball line taking photos here in the first half was Sunnybank pinned them down in their 22, and then rather than exiting and trying to play territory, they were trying to run it out of their own half, and that ended up hurting them with Pete scoring his first try of the match.
So obviously North stuffed around with the ball in their own half and their own 22, knocked on, had a scrum, our ball, and we were able to capitalise on the opportunity that we had, so I was able to get us a try. Open up with the first try, so...
Now, mate, what I was really disappointed in is there was no sort of celebration, mate. We know you've got the moves, we didn't get to see it on the weekend.
Yeah, I was saving it for, because I thought I was going to score another one, so I thought I'd save it for the second try. Now I'm sure there'll be more tries throughout the season that I can show up for a bit of a dance celebration or a try celebration.
So moving on to the second match, GPS v Bond, obviously a game of two halves. Talk us through this one, Jack.
We hit the nail on the head. It was a game of two halves. 20-odd minutes in, Bond are up 15-0 and then end up going down 26-15. So it's a very big win for Jeeps because they've showed that they've still got the talent to be able to get those matches in the bank. But I still think they're quite a ways off from where they were towards the back end of last season. So hopefully this is the win that really kickstarts their season.
Now, Pete, obviously Corbin Kiernan, he's been massive for Bond in the opening 3 weeks, but they lost him in the first half. Talk us through what happened there.
Yeah, so Corbin, in the first half, scored a crack of a try off the base of the scrum, goes through, steps a few people under the post, and then obviously under the post, he bites on the try. He's actually dislocated his shoulder. So really feel for Bond now, because I think that's in the midfield, the sting in the attack, just laying down the foundation, laying down the platform for the boys. I think they're going to struggle in a few weeks to come. So
yeah, it's a real shame for Corbin. He's been in absolute fine form for the opening 3 weeks. And another bloke who's out for Chiefs at the moment, Freddie Burke. It seems like their scrum's really struggling without him as anchor and tight head, Jack.
Oh, big time. I mean, Freddie Burke is probably the best scrummager in Premier Grade footy for the better part of the last 2 or 3 years, and you could just see that Bond really had the ascendancy early on. Will Slipper was massive at tight head there. I mean, he's still a little bit off, I believe. Fred Burke, he's got a bit of bruising. So once he can come back, I think he's really going to shore that set piece up for him.
And we saw that also impacted them at East a couple of weeks ago as well. I think Carter Ozane there really went to work on the Chiefs front row, and that worked out well for the Tigers.
It did. I mean, they obviously picked up the win, and I think Carter Ozane got 2 scrum penalties out of that match, which is not something that Chiefs give up very lightly. So I know Elvie's really going to be driving them hard to work on that set piece, because that's where they get all of their attack patterns off. So they're going to make sure that that's something that is a weapon for them.
All right, fellas, so moving on to the next match, UQ v South, the 94-point ball game. Seemed like defence was optional. Let's go to you first, Pete. Jimmy Dalglish, 7 from 7 from the boot, mate. Obviously, he's really important for this UQ side.
yeah, no, James is really important for them. 7 from 7 can make a big difference in a game. There's extra points, either 3 or 2-pointer, can be the difference between winning by a point or 2 points or losing by a point. So having him back into the squad adds a bit of structure and also just a bit of maturity as well around, especially for UQ. I think they're struggling around the halves at the moment, before, especially last week on that. They're not showing the dominance that they've had showed past few years, but having him back in the squad definitely shows you can bring that structure, a bit of maturity as well.
Now, Jay, obviously Souths, that's back-to-back losses for them, losing the Brothers last week, UQ this week. They seem to be good in patches, but it seems like they're just trying to go wide, go through the wingers, and they're not really earning the right to go wide to those outside channels.
I mean, it's hard to do because you've got so many attacking weapons in that back line, but you've hit the nail on the head again, Sauce. They need to go through the middle to go out wide, and they don't seem to be doing that. They needed to develop into an 80-minute team. We've seen in patches this season that they are just unbelievable for about 20 or 40 minutes, but then they switch off elsewhere. So if they can develop that and remain consistent as well as actually go through the wall before they go around, then they could be dominant. But until then, I don't see them really doing too much outside of that.
Now, one key thing in this match, obviously, South were reduced to 14, sort of in the second half there. New Irish Locke O'Rourke sent to the single with a red card. Talk us through what happened in this one, Jay.
I think Sam Wallace was given a bit of grief, so he grabbed him from the behind and scruffed him around a bit, but he got a bit too worked up and had an attempted headbutt. So, look, it was stupid and it really did cost them. And you saw in that final 15 odd minutes where they were 33 all, they just ran out of gas. So that's another thing that South can sometimes do, is just a few stupid little things like that. And ultimately, I reckon that did cost them the game.
So I think a key lesson out of that one is probably for Sam Wallace not to pick a fight with an Irishman.
Well, that's not just Sam Wallace. I think that's everyone.
Now, I think the red card's probably going to have a bit of a bigger impact for South than what people first realise. We talk about them needing to go forward, to have the ability to go direct. They're missing Alex Casey. They're missing Caleb Timmer at the moment through suspension, and now they're going to lose O'Rourke. There's three big bodies that the club's now going to be without. The forward depth within South is really going to be tested over the next few weeks.
Massively. I mean, Caleb Timmer and Alex Casey are massive outs now, O'Rourke as well, as you said. But look, they have picked up some good players in the off-season. Joey Murray and Franco Abdullah came over from Sunnybank, so they've still got talent there, but it is going to be a serious hit on their forward pack.
Moving on to the fourth and final match between Brothers and West at Crosby Road. Obviously, the Brothers now sit outright on top of the ladder after that win. Pete, the Brethren just seem to be the team to beat at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Brothers definitely have a tug on the back. They're the team to beat. It showed dividends on the weekend, coming up 50 points ahead of West. They showed that how dominant they are. And also, they've been able to pick up some really good recruits this year. Have some really good players being added into the squad. And also the coach as well. So, we had Sabi at Sunnybank. Did a lot of good things for Sunnybank. And I expect them to do the same with Brothers.
Now, while the scoreline blew out a little bit at the end of the match, West still looked really good. And I think they're probably in the shape up for a top four finish this year. But Jay, as a former West man yourself, you must have got really excited, mate, with Effie Marfu getting 2 first-half tries off the back of rolling balls.
Mate, Effie Marfu's a gun, and you could see why Brad Thorne has shown so much faith in him. And he's really bulked up in the off-season, and as you said, he's picked up 2 first-half tries. I think him and Liam Dillon have been the 2 best for the Doggies thus far, and they're going to have to continue to play good footy so that they are there come finals time.
Now, Pete, looking back at Brothers, mate, obviously a lot of players there seem to be in good form across the board, but who's really stood out for you so far this season?
Ruben Wall's been awesome. He's been excellent around the park. Probably but on the weekend, I guess, Seb Wildman had debuted for Brothers. Shows why he's such a threat in attack, and he can finish them, can score them, but also can set them up, and he proved that on the weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Seb throughout the season. Obviously, he's come up, did Reds pre-season, and he's come into the squad as injury cover for Jordy Patea. He's probably going to play a lot of club rugby this year, and he's a really good pick-up for Brothers. I think he could have a massive impact for them this season. So throwing forward to round 4, Westside Derby, the Doggies versus the Students at UQ. Jay, talk us through how much of a big clash this is going to be.
It's absolutely massive. They're really trying to drum up as much as support they can get. West obviously coming off the loss. They're going to be red hot to try and pick up the W again. And I think UQ haven't been as good as they have been, but showed on the weekend that they've got points in them. So I think it'll be a big match, but I think the Doggies will get up.
Now, South v GPS at Chipsywood. Pete, plenty of feeling in this one.
Yeah, definitely. You've got a lot of South supporters from Jeeps, a lot of G supporters from South, so, a bit of rivalry there created within itself. But it'll be really good to watch South if they can actually stay in the game for 80 minutes. And Jeeps obviously coming back from, having 26 unanswered points and winning the game against Bond. It'll be really good. I think it'll be a really good clash between the two teams.
Now we've also got the Northside Derby, Brothers v Norths at Crosby Park. Obviously, this is going to be a big clash of brothers there for some retribution after going down twice to the Eagles in 2018. But the match of the round, Bond University v Easts, down at Bond. Obviously, Tigers coming off the bye. What do you see happening in this clash, Jay?
I think it's going to be a big one. Bond Uni are down Corbin Kiernan, obviously, with that shoulder injury, but East are on a high after that win 2 weeks ago against the reigning premiers in Jeeps. So it's going to be hard for Bond, but they're always really good at home. But I think East, having rested up and getting that win against Jeeps, they could come away with it.
That's it for this week. Thanks for joining me, Jay and Peter.
Cheers. Big shout out to the Sunnybank boys. Keep pissing out there. We've got the bye weekend. And enjoy your Easter.
You love it, Sauce.
All right, folks, as always, get out and support your Queensland Premier Rugby club this weekend. But if you can't make it to a match, stress less. We've got all 4 games streamed live and free via redsrugby.com.au. In the meantime, stay tuned for more club rugby content via the Facebook page.